Hello, everybody, and welcome to BNR. The four horsemen that you're so used to seeing on your Sunday screens. Some go on holiday, some are in Turkey, but the two at the top are always in attendance. But guys, it's been a stormy weekend of Premier League football.
What
The Gunners.
like puns? Is it supposed to be puns coming at us? Like what
You're
is
not
it?
even gonna, you're not even gonna let them. You know what?
Come on, man. Sarib's turned into Shakespeare, man. It's all right. I'm
As
liking
soon
it.
as someone gives him a rebuttal, he gets upset. But then
Because you don't let anybody finish. You don't let
He gets
anybody
upset.
finish.
he gets upset and says this and that.
You don't
I
let
don't like. I
anyone
don't like
finish.
when people finish. I don't like it. Go on, hurry up.
If Mr. Albert Einstein, we interrupt him.
No.
It'll be a real storm. It'll be storm
Hey,
heavy on this show.
This was at Gina. This wasn't at anyone in the comment viewers. This was at Gina, the middle finger. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize to Gina as well. Sorry, Sarib.
It's been a stormy weekend of Premier League football. Our title rivals dropping points left, right, and centre. Liverpool winning, and they haven't even kicked the ball. What more could you ask for? Alongside me, I've got Asim, the ever-present Mr. Face of BNR, Twitter's finest. We've got Gene at the bottom, the Avenger of Mo Salah, and then we've got the blue chip who's just here. But we're all here today to talk about contracts, to talk about the title race, and where it leaves Liverpool going into the long December period.
Sarib, I think you should congratulate the Chip spending his quarterly bonus on some new headphones. How many realize?
He looks like a kid.
I couldn't find the other one.
Are you relaunching your own channel?
I couldn't find the other ones. So I had to use these ones. I haven't used these in 10 years, and I've only used them once or twice with Grey Beats. So it is.
I remember them. Is it still about?
Pretty nice, mate. Pretty nice. Yeah.
But look, boys, I want to ask you individually, first of all, how you lot feeling. I'll start with Asim because he is on the top right with me. Asim, Arsenal dropping points, City dropping points, but generally speaking, we'll get onto that. How have you been the last since we haven't done a show and since yesterday? So,
I've caught up on some sleep this weekend, but honestly, I'm absolutely knackered. Believe it or not, I woke up early just to see if the game is on, then went back to sleep, and then had regular naps throughout the day. And today, again, it was the same, but I watched both games.
Does 1.5 shows a week, and he says he's exhausted. So, Gina, that's the attitude we have on the channel. The attitude and the application that we have on the channel.
You cannot. Nobody here can question Mr. Asim BNR's attitude to this channel.
There we are.
It must be the Substackers. It must be the Substack articles that have exhausted Asim. So fair play.
Bloody hell, nothing can get past Avi today with those new headphones. Well, sorry, but I'm buzzing. I thought it was more than a banana skin. I thought Marco Silva. I think Marco Silva's a top coach. I think his side plays good football. And it was a different type of performance. Last year, I think Fulham deservedly were the winners on the day because they played front foot football. Today, I think they still deserved a draw. But it was a different type of performance where at times it was backs against the wall. But, Arsenal didn't create a lot of chances. And, they had their set pieces. They were always going to be dangerous on them. But, yeah, man, I'd take it. And I think Liverpool, I don't want the fans who desperately wanted us to play against Everton this weekend and say, look, we're negative. We want to go there and beat them and get 10 points ahead. I understood that point of view, but I was there on Wednesday night. I thought some of our players looked really leggy, and I thought we dodged a bullet this weekend because that wasn't going to be football in those conditions, and it would have suited Everton at home. Even though it's 12:30, that crowd would have been up. The last Merseyside derby for a while, and I thought Liverpool needed a rest, and we got a rest, and we got a boost as well.
Gene, Asim said we had a boost, but I want you to use your own words. In your own words, how are you feeling after this weekend of football? And generally, how have you been? How have you?
Look, I've been all good, man. How can you not be happy? The two teams that are supposedly going for this title race with us, both dropping points, and it feels a lot better. Obviously, we dropped points in midweek, so with Arsenal dropping points, it was funny because I was seeing on Twitter, all the Arsenal fans, they were putting win. Next to their next 10 fixtures, and Liverpool had a few draws in there, a couple of losses. So it was nice to go on the reply to some of them tweets today saying, okay, here we go, you guys have got it wrong already within game week 1. So it was good. Look, we obviously we only look at ourselves, but it's definitely a massive bonus when them two teams drop points, and especially Arsenal right now because they're in form. City are not in form, but we needed Arsenal to drop some points because I think they won a couple in a row. But it does piss me off for these corners, man. Every game they score from these bloody corners, man.
If you're good at them, you got to use them.
Stock City, man. Stock City, innit? That's what they are, bros. Say it loud. Say it loud and proud. Say it loud and proud. Liverpool fans, say it loud and proud that Arsenal are Stoke City. Because that's what they're playing like, man.
I've been cooking Arsenal for the last couple of weeks on Twitter anyway. But Avi, Cheen says Stoke City. Cheen says title rivals dropping points. How do you see it? Because Cheen made you a believer. Are you believing now?
Of course I'm believing, but I still think we've got to look. We can't expect to have a 10-point, 15-point lead towards the end of the season. They will catch up. There was a lot of fans saying, "Oh, they want the game to go ahead because if Arsenal win, it'll come down to 4. If City win, it'll come down to 7. If Chelsea win, it'll come down to 6, 7, or whatever. They're behind us 4, I think now. Look, this season's we're in it for the long haul. We have to just mind our own business, forget what they're doing. But look, Chelsea look good. Arsenal.
Chelsea, yeah, I think I forgot to mention Chelsea. Chelsea with a very good win away at Tottenham as well. To be fair to them,
we have to match what Arsenal are doing on the opposition side, and we're doing it. We've got to go to Craven Cottage and do better, or match it, get the draw. We've just got to do what they're doing. But Chelsea are making a fist of it, similar to what Leicester City were doing in 2019-2020 season. Everyone thought it was Liverpool City, but Leicester were there up until Boxing Day when we beat them 4-0 after coming back from the World Club Championship, and they failed, and then City obviously came second that season. But Chelsea are making a fist of it. But in terms of us, we got a few days rest. Girona, I expect a few changes as well, Sarib. So it's a blessing in disguise that it's come at the right time, this little storm, Dara, whatever they were calling it.
Yeah.
Just on that, just because we're on topic with you now. I'm pretty sure all of us we watched the Arsenal game. We watched I don't know if you lot watched the Man City game because it wasn't televised in the UK. But let's talk about Manchester City. Because obviously Liverpool didn't play. That was the game that was going to happen afterwards. Arsenal playing today. City played yesterday. City dropping points away to Crystal Palace, and you've just said we need to better what City and Arsenal do. And now you throw Chelsea.
What Arsenal do.
So you're not worried about Manchester City making a return to this race for the league title?
I said to you before we played them last Sunday, they're in crisis mode. It's similar to what happened to us when we lost Van Dijk and then we lost Gomez, then we lost Matic. But Van Dijk was a massive miss for us that season after winning the league. And for them, Rodri's a massive miss. They can do whatever business they like in January. They will not be catching us. I think Pep, he needs a reset of this team. Players have come in, the likes of Doku, he hasn't done it. He's not replaced the numbers that Mahrez or Sterling was doing. Savinho will need a season. Mateus Nunes is playing better. Funnily enough, he's been the better of the players, but they're just lacking that continuity right now. And there's a few aging players, there's a few aging legs in that team. I look at Bernardo Silva, I look at Gundogan. I look at like Kyle Walker. There's a fair few mileage in their legs, and they need a reset in the summer. And I'm sure, if providing that they get off with the fine and whatever happens on that side, they will make the right acquisitions in summer, and Pep will go again. There's no doubt that he won't because he's a top manager. But yeah, it's Liverpool's to lose, Salah. That's what I will say. Arsenal, I just don't see it. I don't see how they get 85 points, 85 wins at this season. It might even be less, which would be such crazy numbers because of the numbers that Klopp was putting up with these teams, 90 plus, and we still couldn't get it over the line. This season, it seems that 80 to 85 is the benchmark.
Wow. I mean,
Arsenal at the moment, Arsenal at the moment are on their way for 73. They're falling well short.
To match last season, boys, I saw a stat. They can only drop points in 8 more matches this season. And they still have to play Liverpool at Anfield. They still have to play Tottenham.
You mean they can only drop 8 points?
No, they can only drop points in 8 more games to match 90. It was something like that. I read that. Might be incorrect, but it's something along those lines.
That's a lot of games, though, Sarib.
I don't know. It was something like that. I must be misread that, but it was something along those lines.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
It must be 8 points, man. It can't be flipping. They've already dropped loads of points.
If they can only drop 8 more points to match last season. So I don't know what.
8
I don't know
points
what it
maybe.
must be that. It must be that. It must be that to match last.
If they lose the 8
Arsenal
games,
can get 98 points with maximum wins, according to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, to
Now,
match 90 points, they can only drop. Yeah, so I'm right. They can only drop points in 8 more
I
games. To
do.
get 90, just 90
8
points.
points, 8 points,
Just to come back on this, I do
Oh, 8
think
points.
Arsenal.
Oh, 8 points. Yeah, you're right, Gene.
8
Sorry.
points.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I do think Arsenal will make a significant signing in January. I really do think that they'll get a forward. So let's see.
who Arsenal will get a forward
I think they will. I think they'll go
in,
for growth.
in January.
January. Yeah. If it's still 8, 10 points, I can see them getting something.
I don't think it'll be a difference maker though. In January, it can be a difference maker in the summer. I don't think they're going to spend 70, 80 million in January, Avi. They don't have the money. I don't think Arsenal have got the money to be spending 80, 90 million in January. Unless they fast track the summer bid and then let Gabriel Jesus go in January, maybe, recoup some of that money. But I don't know, Avi. I really don't know. But I've got a feeling that he's got an obsession with Havertz up top because he gives him so much. I think he is. Liverpool are not playing with a proper 9, and so are Arsenal, where he comes on the left, comes on the right. He gives Saka and Trossard.
The drifter, isn't he? Asim?
The last season and a half, he hasn't worked though, has it really? I mean, they won.
No, because I think Havertz has played. I think Havertz has warranted his start. I don't think Havertz is the problem.
I think they could. I think they could do with a number 9, like a proper number 9. I don't think Havertz is a 9.
You know, their biggest problem was when Havertz went out. Sorry, when Odegaard got injured, he moved Havertz.
Where did
Havertz
he move?
was not. They did not play. I'm sure one of the games he played slightly deeper.
Havertz original
he was actually in form at the start of the season.
Was a 10 at Leverkusen.
Yeah,
that's when he was
on the right
for
Chelsea. Yeah, he was signed.
He was a yeah.
Yeah, but he's been playing a false 9/10 for Arsenal, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But initially, what he was signed to play, from all the Arsenal lads I speak to, and what came on the media, Mikel Arteta, when Saka left, he wanted some goals from midfield, and he thought Kai Havertz could provide that. Bearing in mind, at Leverkusen, he played his best football as that left 8-10/hybrid role, and obviously he's grown a lot. People don't know about Kai Havertz that he was 6'2", when he was at Leverkusen, and he had a big growth, but he's 6'4" now. So he already lost that mobility, lost that agility, and obviously him playing so well up front. He played left back for Germany as well. He's played a load of different positions. I think he's found his role in this Arsenal. But I think if Arsenal want to win the title, and it's very evident today, they need goals from the attackers, because they can't just rely on Bukayo Saka. And somebody made it very clear, Asim and Gene, especially you two. They say Bukayo Saka has got Salah-isms about him, where he can be on the peripherals in matches and he can still provide you with a goal and assist.
Yeah, no, he's a great player. I'm not going to knock Saka. Saka is probably the one player that I would love for us to be. If there's one player I was able to get, it would be Saka to replace Salah, because he is the perfect player to play in that position. And to be fair, look, he's been unbelievable this season. His records, he's their talisman. He's the one that gets them the goals. He's the one who, he got a goal today who was just offside from Martinelli.
Yeah.
And so look, I have to give him his prop for that, but they definitely need help. He needs help though. He can't keep relying on one player all the time. And Arsenal, they get away with it because of the set pieces. There's always a goal there for them, and that's what's been saving them, especially over this season. The amount of times they scored from set pieces. But Saka is a brilliant footballer, man, and honestly, I love him, even though he's an Arsenal player. He's the one player that I really like.
But before you go, Avi, we've got 217 people on here, and Liverpool haven't even kicked the ball in a weekend. If you're enjoying the downfall of Arsenal and Manchester City, or you're here for the screams of Gene, or the wit of Avi and Asim, we're all here because Liverpool are top of the league. So make sure you make sure you subscribe. We've got a load of content coming out from all of us. We're all putting our 110% into this, just how Arne Slot is putting his 110% in this, because we want this league title. And make sure, guys, to check out our sponsor. It'll be on the bottom of your screen, www.snookerleg.com.
Sarib, you got mute.
No, he's not.
Oh, I can't hear you guys.
It's your headphones. Chuck them away. Find a receipt and get a refund.
Anyways, www.snookerleg.com for your best LFC apparels, and use code BNR10 for 10% off.
We can hear you, Avi.
Like the admin says, whoever that is at the moment, it's not me. My hands are here.
That's me. That's
like
me.
and subscribe.
It takes
2 seconds. Takes 2 seconds.
Admin could have said it takes 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Why 2 seconds? Are we
I saw
gonna
your
talk
tweet as
about,
well, Asim. Yeah,
are we going to talk about contracts?
I fancy a chicken cottage. Yeah, let's talk about contracts. Obviously, Chino.
No, I just want to go on Arsenal. I think Arteta needs to buckle up his ideas. I think he's gone way too much. There was accusations, and rightly so, against Arsenal being too soft, too naive, easy to bully. How many times have we seen him over the years just get bullied? I think that defining game was when they went to City, albeit they were really depleted on that day, away to City, and they lost 4-1 or 5-1 on that day. I think it was really early on in the season, and I think he just sorted his team structure out. But I think my concern for them is they don't create a lot of chances. And Odegaard, there's a lot of combinations, a lot of triangles, but they don't get in. But if it's not Saka or getting provided at Odegaard on a consistent basis, I don't know who that lad is going to be. So maybe they might need to take a few more risks, let Timber go up and down a bit more down that wing, and you still got the security of Odegaard, not Odegaard, their three central defenders. Rice is a good box-to-box player. He can sit as well, be disciplined, but he's not going to make those line-breaking passes. Partey at right back, I don't think he's a right back. And also what you lose is when he's not playing in midfield, you lose his passing ability as well. If you speak to Arsenal fans, they say Partey is the creator. He's a controller and the creator as well. So he's a much better passer than Rice. Rice obviously has got a good delivery. So I think they've got plenty of solidity in there. But I think as a team, they just might need to take a few more risks if the likes of, because I think Martinelli is he just goes through too many phases where, Arsenal fans want him out of the team. I saw so many tweets saying this guy needs to be sold. Jesus needs to be sold. They've been talking about Jesus for a long time to be sold. But Martinelli, he splits the fan base. On his day, he is unbelievable when he's confident and he's scoring goals as well. Jurgen Klopp absolutely loved him. Pressing machine as well. But he just goes through too many phases where he's too quiet. And that really affects the team because they over-relying on Saka as it is. And when others are not producing, it's similar in a way to how Liverpool are been over the years. Firmino obviously had a different role, but Mane supported him really, really well. Yeah. And I don't think Martinelli does that enough for Saka.
I think that's very, very fair. Do any of you boys want to make any points on Arsenal? Because again, I don't want to make this an Arsenal team. I want to beat the allegations.
Can you guys all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Give a shout out to Hunks, man. He's in the building.
Yeah, don't worry about Hunks. Just coming to Arsenal, they remind me of Gene and Asim. You probably remember. Sarib, you probably will as well. The Leeds team, the young Leeds team under David O'Leary. They were pushing United for a good 2-3 years, but they just never could get it over the line. And they had a very young team. I still think Arsenal are a very young team. I think their time will come, and I think it will come under Arteta. But I think they do need to make they need to make 2-3 top-class signings. Declan Rice was one, but they need to make another 2 like genuine world-class signings. I still think they're a little bit off. Like Saliba's great, Gabriel's great, the set pieces are great, but they're just missing 2 more components.
Avi, if you're playing Arteta, who would those 2 signings be then?
I think you can upgrade on Martinelli. I know he gives you the work rate. He's a brilliant footballer. He just doesn't give you the numbers. I think there's a position in midfield, in the midfield 3, alongside a Rice maybe. I think there's a position there that could be filled. I think Timber's great. I think Timber will grow. I think he'll be an established fullback for this team. I think in the midfield area and a forward line player, Asim, for me.
I think that's clear. But look, Asim, we've got super chat, maybe unrelated to what we're talking about. But thank you, Shane OG. It's a very nice, generous.
I think there was one before this as well, Sarib.
I can't see that one. Oh yeah, I'll get to that one in a second as well. Sorry about that. I'll get to you, Rabadam, as well. Just got in here. Salah signs just despite Carragher. Also, Saka's contract up in 2027. Mo retires.
Retiring these boys,
and we sign Saka. Haha, wishful thinking. What do you make of that, boys? Gene, you're the one that said it. You'd love Saka to replace Mo Salah. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, I'd buy that hand off me. If that was possible, you'd do it. But that's not happening.
He's playing too much career mode, Shane, hasn't he?
He's not. Arsenal not gonna let him go. He's gonna be their main player, and they're gonna give him whatever. They'll stupid money. They'll give him whatever it takes, sort of thing. Unlike some teams, don't give their players whatever it takes to keep their players. But anyway, look, we're gonna be going up to the contracts for anyway. But look, if we could get Saka, he would be the perfect player, man.
There was one more comment, Asim. I wanted to ask you lot about this. Someone put a comment saying you was talking about Bukayo Saka, and he said Arsenal are heavily reliant on them. I can't seem to find the comment on here, but somebody said just how you think it might be an issue for Arsenal that we're relying on Saka. Don't you think Liverpool have the same problem where Mo Salah's doing the same job because he's involved in virtually 75% of our goals? I'm trying to find the comment. I can't find it. There it is. Look. Sleepy Forest says, Asim, Salah scored us 75% of our goals. We have the same problem as Arsenal.
I see where he's coming from. Every great side is going to be relying on their best players. Arsenal play through Saka. They go to him. Their best combinations are on that side. Their best playmaker is on that side. So naturally, we're going to have, they're going to have the ball going over to Saka. And in a similar fashion, the same way Trent is on Salah's side, whether it's a long ball, whether it's a connecting ball. We saw him coming on against Newcastle, even though it's easy to make an impact. But Trent doesn't need to come off the bench to make an impact. He makes an impact even when he starts. So he combines with Salah. He finds him from every single blade of grass on the pitch. So I get that, but I think the way we look more dangerous. Even, Gakpo is getting goals. I've talked about Martinelli, Avi. Gakpo's getting goals earlier this season. Diaz, chipped in a few goals as well. I know Darwin's only got 2 goals, but Jota's been injured for a long time. And then, we've got people chipping in from midfield. So I think our chance creation, I don't know exactly the numbers, but it seems like Liverpool getting behind defenses a lot more than Arsenal. I think Liverpool take a few more risks as well. We saw against Newcastle, who goes on a Wednesday night against that crowd, against that physical team, and puts 2 defenders on when you're missing Ibu Konate, and play 2 defenders and trying to overload the central pitch of Newcastle. I don't think Arsenal and Mikel Arteta do that. But Liverpool go on the front foot, take a few more risks, and the chances show for it, don't they? So yes, Salah is always going to be on top of our charts, and we're going to be reliant on any great player, just like Arsenal are. But I think we've got a bit more support this year because the manager is making those subtle changes. Hopefully, the business end of the season, our other players are fresh to chip in as well.
Fair enough. We've got another super chat, Asim. Oh, any of you lot can take this. Got one more super chat. If I can pull it up for you lot. From Rabadam. Sorry, I'll get to you on as well, Ash. Bless Arsenal for not buying a proper striker. I don't think we need to I don't think we need to address that for too long. We just talk about that. Another super chat from Ash. I'd be concerned. He says, I'd be concerned if I was an Arsenal fan how Arteta is using Saka. It's become an Arsenal show. It's not even about me. Using 50+ games since he's been 18 years old. He's racking up crazy minutes for a young player.
Yeah,
I think that's something important we have to talk about, because we saw the likes of Dele Alli. I know he had his own problems, but a lot of players, when they're young, they get run into the ground. I think Bellingham, I think, Avi, you mentioned that he's played a lot of games at a young age, and you see him dropping off as well. Do you see that concern with Bukayo Saka? And I think, obviously, if everything goes for him, I think that could be a concern for the next couple of days. But what do you not make of that? Any one of you can take that. I'm the unbiased one today anyway.
He's managing minutes, isn't it? Like Michael Owen, we had similar issues with Michael Owen when he first hit the scene at 17, and then his hamstring goes 2-3 years later, and he was never the same player. He was still a great goal scorer, but he was never the same player. It's how you look after your body as well. Sarib. Wayne Rooney is a perfect example, like Shane McGee. But then you got Ronaldo and the Messis who looked after their body, who were great with their nutrition, and they're still going strong at 36, 37, and they've been playing since 17. So it all depends on the individual, their mindset. Look at Salah. Salah's 32, 30. He's going to be 33 in July. He's probably in the best shape of his life. Guys, he's always dedicated to the gym. Even on Saturday, he'll post a picture on Instagram at his home gym. He's doing resistance bands. He's doing, he's doing all sorts. So it all depends on the individual, in my eyes, Sarib.
All depends on the individual, Abby says. But let's get into the contracts. I'm going to try pull up the David Ornstein article. But Gene, big news from David Ornstein. It's not really news. I think we all kind of knew it the last week or so that there was talks around Mo Salah. The Egyptian lot came out and said he signed a new deal. Congratulations. And then we had reports last night from the Mirror, the Athletic, saying that Salah is on the brink of signing a 2-year extension at Liverpool. And Liverpool found an agreement. Then we had Ben Jacobs come in today saying there's a contract on the table, but it's still wide of the mark. And then you got the mastermind in David Ornstein saying that he has been offered a 2-year deal, still quite far away, but now Trent, Van Dijk and Salah have all been offered new contracts at Liverpool. And it's something we've been asking for many, many months.
Look, the contract situation, we're in December, so with respect, there was always going to be a contract on the table in December. It should have been there a lot earlier, but we're in December with 1 month to go before they can start speaking to the teams. And yeah, the contract's on the table. Obviously Ornstein's come out and said that, but they've not signed it. And I think it's not as plain sailing, or just because they've given a contract that it's going to be, it's going to get signed. Nothing guarantees that, because if it's a contract that isn't even worth reading, then what's the point?
Absolutely.
So these are players that are going to be wanting the correct money, the right money, and they deserve it. They deserve the players that are playing for Liverpool that are getting these contracts. They deserve the money. They deserve the players. They're still at the peak of their powers. Just give them the money that's due, that they're worth, especially over the next 2 years, because Virgil van Dijk is still the best centre back in the world, and Salah's playing at an unbelievable level, even more so this year. So just give them the money and get them signed. Yes, I was happy about it, but it doesn't change anything, Sarib, for me, because I want them signed.
Gina, 1 minute. Do you think that's a confident sort of tweet from Ornstein that maybe tells you that the club are in advanced negotiations for all three, and he thinks it's going to be no?
Game on. But Salah's come. Now they've thrown it back.
No, that's come from the club piece, though. That's come from the club. The club have informed Ornstein that, look, we've given the contract.
Now, basically, Salah's come out and done a few interviews, all that type of stuff. Now they've come out, we've given you a contract, sign it. So now they're throwing it onto Salah. Okay, we gave you a contract, sign the contract. We don't know what's in the contract yet. It would have been good if we actually understood the terms that were on there. Look, it will get agreed. Like Ali says, I'm confident that it will get agreed. Salah and Van Dijk, that is.
Let me see if I can pull up the little details of the Salah thing. So let's just pull up the quote. Can you not see my screen? Can you not see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Because Liverpool make opening contract offer to Mohamed Salah does not mean agreement done or close, any outcome expected to take time. But Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold have now all received proposals, plus talks with Liverpool ongoing. Surely that's positive news, Avi. Surely that's something.
That was going to happen anyway. Salah.
Yeah, but Gene, you say that's going to happen anyway.
Of course it was, man.
It didn't happen though, did it? It didn't happen. There was a lot of noise. As time went on, Liverpool fans were panicking more and more and more and more. And I understand this should have been done 3-4 months ago, even 18 months ago with Mo Salah's contract. But the fact that there is something now visible there, surely it's optimistic, Avi.
Yeah, look, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because this should have been done all behind closed doors, like it has been done in previous years. There's always been speculation in the media, but we've always had deals done in private, whether it's for Salah, whether it was for Bobby extension, Fabinho extending, Henderson extend. Well, Henderson got a little bit messy, but there's always been players that you just signed, done the deal. But it just seems that all three, and I think Asim used a word a couple of weeks ago, they're playing Monopoly with one another. They're seeing what offers, which individual's getting which offer. All three of them, in their divine right, deserve to be highly paid. But they're also probably seeing how, advanced the other players alongside them, like a Salah, like a Trent, like a Van Dijk, playing each other off to see who's getting the better offer. All three should be on the same pay packet, which should be a high pay packet, including your bonuses and everything. Because look, Salah and Virg are not going to be slowing down in the next 2 years. And you tie down Trent for the next 4 or 5 years, you're tying him down for the rest of his career pretty much. He'll be 29, 30. He's not going to be going anywhere. So, you want these players at the best of the years at the club. And Virg and Salah have still got so much to offer.
I think it's just we're seeing a PR war play out, on in amongst both parties. I think Liverpool have been losing the PR war for many months now. Probably because Van Dijk and Trent and Salah have been one of the best performers in the league. And what they were saying, they're rallying up the fans, and rightly so, because they wanted to get this done. Every player wants to get this done and concentrate on the league title. But these guys are ultimate professionals as well. But at the end of the day, they want to be respected and given what they think they fully deserve. And as long as Salah and Van Dijk and Trent keep doing what they're doing, the fans are going to be on their side. And I think this is a bit of a counterpunch on behalf of Michael Edwards and co. And like Gene said, this is them saying, okay, look, we've given you a contract. We don't know the exact details, and we are speculating to an extent. But at the end of the day, what we're seeing is, the club coming back to the table and saying publicly, saying we've offered you, whether you reject it or accept it. Now the ball's in your court. Van Dijk, we were told last week, I think it was by David Ornstein as well, that he rejected the offer because I think the exact term that he used was unsuitable offer. So he clearly thinks that he's not been offered the right deal. And maybe, we hear something for the next day or so, something new. But David Ornstein did say, Sarib, that this doesn't mean that this is a certainty. It doesn't mean that the deal is close. I think this is a bit of a to and fro going on between both parties. And the good thing, the positive thing is, I'd like to think that Liverpool are offering their players contracts because they have genuine interest in them, extending contracts. And I genuinely believe that they'd be pretty stupid to be just giving them really stupid, disrespectful terms. And I think, they basically get shut down straight away by the players or their players' representatives. But hopefully the two parties are not a million miles away. But I think this is just a PR war going on. But I would like to say there have been some pundits who accused Mohamed Salah for coming out in the public a few times and said he's selfish. Why is he discussing this, in front of the TV cameras? What he should be doing negotiations behind closed doors, and all that should be, being done respectfully. But then, are you not going to come out today and say this is disrespectful on behalf of the club of leaking this news? This has come from the club. Make no mistake about it. It's not come from anyone else. It's come from Michael Edwards and co. to David Ornstein and say, okay, we've offered the players. Now it's up to the players if they accept those offers. Absolutely. Because they are trying to win this PR war. Because what they don't want is a massive meltdown from fans, and rightly so. If the three players don't sign and they are seen in the public domain that they did not get offered what they deserved, then it will be absolute criminal, and they'll be in the fighting line for amongst Liverpool fans. They're not these owners are not popular anyway as things stand. They've a lot of fans. Most of the fans will say they've not backed us when you really mattered. I said a couple of months ago, where if you really have some title ambition, go and show these players that you really want to win the title. Because I think it's going to be tight. A lot of people are saying we're going to run away.
Dan as well.
They wanted Edwards, but I just hope it gets sorted, and I hope this dirty laundry doesn't get played out too much in the public. We've seen a bit of both parties coming out trying to play games. And you understand it to an extent as well. But we just hope as fans that the relationships don't get broken down and we see our best players leave in that peak of their careers, especially when it comes to Trent.
Absolutely. Look, I think Shane makes a really good point. And Avi and Gene, you lot can take this. He goes, but why would Liverpool do PR now when the club have been losing this battle since the summer? Richard Hughes is new to this football club. Michael Edwards knows the ins and outs, but he's still working in the structure in a higher job. He's the chief or something of FSG. I think he's the top football something for FSG. I don't know the exact title, but it's definitely a high position than what he was initially. But why would they do all this PR stuff now? To me, it doesn't really make sense. But then in hindsight, you can say it makes sense because you've got the January window coming up and maybe they don't want to spend in January, which is why the contract. But why would they do this now is my question to you, Gene or Avi. Why would they do this now when this could have happened months ago?
Look, when you're dealing with the three of arguably one of the three best players in the world, definitely in the top 10, contracts can't be just done overnight, Sarib. I don't know why they can't be done overnight.
I'm sure it doesn't take. I'm sure it doesn't take. It doesn't take 8 months to.
Obviously, with agents and players, maybe the players also wanted to hold back as well until Slot had come in and they had seen his vision, what he wants to create for this team. Maybe they thought, after Klopp, things might go haywire, similar to what happened with Fergie and Moyes and stuff. So maybe they just wanted to know. Maybe they wanted to see what Slot was like for the first 3 months, 6 months, whether they could interact with him, have a relationship with the manager. They've seen that, and now we're coming to January. Now the club and the players and the agents are scrambling to get contract extensions done. So I think it's tit for tat. I think all sides just wanted to see what the situation was. I think the players, of course, after Jurgen left, they were all probably apprehensive. They were all worried about, wait a minute, why should we commit for the next 2-3 years? If everything goes haywire, like we don't want to get this club. So it's a tit for tat for both parties. That's what I see. I think honestly, like it's getting boring now as well. If it gets done, if it doesn't, then you know what? We move. That's it. It's getting very boring. We talk about this every week. Not just us, but everyone else on Twitter. People are tweeting contracts that every other channel. It's getting tedious now. They sign, it will be great, amazing. If they don't,
yeah, but that's just too simplistic, Avi. What do you mean by we move? What do you mean we move? You're gonna get the club does us over. The club does us over.
Liverpool has moved regardless of whether Suarez, whether it was McManaman, Robbie Fowler, whoever left the club. This club has
this is unprecedented. This is unprecedented, Avi. This is unprecedented, though. There's never been a situation where 3 of our best players could be signing a pre-agreement in the.
Yeah, but it's tiresome. It's tiresome.
In 2-3 weeks, they could sign.
It's been so long-winded. We've been spending
it's been so long-winded. It's been so long-winded.
Every other person
it's been so long-winded. No,
that's what I'm saying.
Abby's right. Abby's right, Asim. You lose belief.
It's been so long-winded. You're right. It's annoying. It's annoying that it's been so long-winded. But we still want the right outcome. What does this mean? We just move. Get it home and do it. Like you're telling me that you're accepting these players to move, to go. Why should we accept that?
We don't have a choice, though, do we? That's what you're saying. We don't have a choice.
We're allowed to speak out against it,
of course, but we're not in control of that.
It gets very
tiresome. But he's saying that you get it.
That's what
he's giving me the impression that he doesn't care if they leave or if they leave. You're giving me the impression that you don't care anymore that if they leave.
I don't, because
that's ridiculous.
We've been talking about harping on about the same thing for the last 5-6 months, Asim.
I don't care. That's on the club. That's not on the players.
Oh yeah, Asim. Listen, it is cha-cha. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Let's there's no being on the bush. Yeah, Avi's cha-cha, Henry. It's his time for us to give him a load of shit. So guess what he comes out with? He's like, that Dominic King and a few others recently. I've seen tweets about them, trying to have a little dig at Salah here and there. It doesn't work like that. We don't miss a trick when it concerns Salah. And Avi's one of them. Look, bottom line is, Avi, when you've got arguably 3 of the best players in the world in their positions, how can you say it's all right? How can you say, the last... One second, let me finish. No, you are. You're saying
Avi, this is my show. I'm hosting.
He goes on like a fog.
No, wait, Avi, wait. Let Gene make his point.
He just like,
let Avi,
there you go.
Gene make his point. Let Gene make his point, then you can go. Then you can have all the...
For the last 8 months, this guy, for the last 8 months, even last week, he's tweeting stuff. Henry this, Henry that, Henry this. My uncle, my dad, my this. Right? That's all he's been doing. Licking his ass. Right? Your job. See, because that's who you... For us, the football team comes first. We want our best players to stay. We want our best players, right, to sign contracts. I don't give a shit whose money it is. Get them signed, because this is taking the piss. You cannot let 3 of your best players... Oh, forget about it. It's all right. I'm sick of it. It's been going on for 8 months. Why has it been going on for 8 months? It's because of the people, your owner, your cha-cha employed him. The other people.
Can you translate the word cha-cha?
Cha-cha means uncle.
That's it. Thank you.
Right?
John Henry.
It's because of these things. So,
no one gonna cook him for saying that.
If they don't sign, Avi, your job is to go out and go for your uncle. But you will do that. Because you want a tweet from Linda saying, "Oh, Avi, thank you very much. Linda's tweeted me today."
No. Every summer, truthfully, look, behind all this is a gimmick that gets played on Twitter. Yeah, I like to go against the notion. So yeah, I'm always supportive of Henry, FSG, everything. Yeah, but truthfully, every summer, after the summer window gets shut, I do an assessment and say, listen, we have failed yet again. A 6 out of 10 window is not good enough for this football club. Look, I'm not saying that we move as a football club if they don't sign. It will be catastrophic, Asim, if we don't get none of the 3 extended. Yeah, I think we'll get 2 out of the 3. I think 1 maybe leaves. 2 out of 3 is not bad. Okay, I think there's a lot of factors, not just FSG, not just John Henry. John Henry does not sort out the contracts at this football club. He's just a custodian of the football club. He doesn't do nothing to do with contracts. Okay, those are the men like Billy Hogan and Mike Gordon that were sorting it out before Richard Hughes came in. So let's have a little bit of FH. Let's be a little sensible. I said, let me finish. Hold on. Don't be rude.
Okay.
I never interrupt. Now you're interrupting, please.
Okay, ठीक है.
Look, I think if it gets sorted, great. I love Van Dijk. Look, Mohamed Salah for me is the greatest Liverpool player, bar none. Okay, but I just said it's just tiresome.
It is tiresome. I get that.
On Twitter, every day, people are on suicide watch. I'm not being bad.
Oh, come on.
People are on suicide watch, whether they're signing or not.
Come on, Avi. There's a slight exaggeration there.
I'm sorry. If they don't extend, they don't extend. I'm sorry. We do move as a football club. This football club will still remain. Okay, and you still support them, whether Salah's gone, whether Virgil's gone, or whether Trent's gone. You 3 are still going to support this football club.
To be fair, he is right.
That's not the question, though. I'm not saying
Sarib, that's standard, isn't it? That's like that'll always happen because the club will always
unfollow Mohamed Salah elsewhere to Saudi if you want.
Sorry,
that will always stay. But that doesn't mean you bloody let your flipping thingy go, your best players go, and you say, okay, you know what, the club will always be there. It's all right.
By Saab, trust me, they don't sign up for the money. What do you mean? There's a budget that's allocated. Billy Hogan and Mike Gordon look after that side of the thing. These guys have made money overall on the club when they sell it in the future, whenever that may be. Yeah, they don't sign up for sponsors and stuff like that.
Billy Hogan and Co are FSG, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are. And Asim, in the summer, we knew that they were. When people say that we didn't do anything in the summer, there were players that Slot wanted, but they weren't attainable. One being Zubamendi, and then there was no Edison or there was no Adam Wharton like Tina was ready to spend 100 million on him. Yeah, in the summer.
Avi, this happens every single summer.
Let Sarib speak now.
It was Zubi or nothing. I also think Sarib, Jurgen Klopp has got a lot to blame for transfer window activity as well. But that's another conversation. Especially today, I don't want it to be about FSG, this in or out. We can talk about that in January. If we haven't invested in January, Sarib, money.
Yeah, but it's not just it's not.
Avi, you said that to me every window. You said that to me every window.
January.
Avi, it's not only about transfers. If you can't keep your best players at your club, you have to look at that too. That's also down to the ownership. Now, I said in the summer that I can't put blame on the ownership because they've employed people that have done well in the past for Liverpool, and they bought Hughes and players that are people that are experienced in the field. But they have not done well for this club. So you got to point the fingers at the people that have employed them, not them, because they've done a bad job. Fine. But I was praising FSG because they put people in charge. Let me finish.
Every Liverpool fan was praising Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, and Richard Hughes.
Yes. Because
one at a time, boys. One at a time.
Future windows.
Yeah, because of their track record, Avi. But now we sit here 5 months later with Federico Chiesa and our 3 best players out of contract in the summer, where they can sign pre-agreements with new clubs. So how can they not be on the ownership? I said in the summer, it's not on the ownership because they've brought people in that are done well in the past. But if they've not done well, you have to point fingers at them and the people that put them in there in the first place. And you look at FSG as a whole. I'm not saying this FSG in or FSG out, but they have done this every single summer, Avi. They only spent last summer because Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, Keita all left the football club, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Otherwise, we will sit there in the same position. The year before that, they gave us Darwin Núñez because Mane left. and they put Mane's wages on top of Mo Salah. We didn't really improve the squad. We replaced the squad.
Klopp wanted Darwin Núñez by the way.
Yeah,
Klopp.
but we never. My point is, Avi, Liverpool Football Club in the last 10 years or so have never added to the squad. They've always replaced in the squad, which is why we don't win as consistently as we want to.
Avi, here's a question for you, Avi. Avi, here's a question for you.
We've been playing. We've been playing alongside. We've been playing against a juggernaut in Man City.
That's because of our manager.
Who are getting caught for corruption and cheating. If it wasn't for Man City, we'd be talking about 3-4 league titles and easy 3
That's
years.
fine.
FSG are not to blame for losing in Kiev or in Paris.
Why?
Let's get that right. Why were they to blame?
Because they shouldn't have. Why are they giving us Carragher as a goalkeeper? We knew Mignolet was a problem before we signed Alisson, but then we got Carragher in. He was shit, and only after Klopp went to them and said, "I need a goalkeeper, otherwise we're not going to get in the Champions League." Challenge for the title.
Yeah, we know that for sure.
And on top of that,
for sure.
You're telling me, you're telling me FSG invested in their squad. They sold Philip Coutinho to fund that summer. They sold Philip Coutinho to get Van Dijk and Alisson. The only reason why the 1 year, I'll give them credit, they invested in the squad. We went and won the Champions League. Since then, they've done nothing. And that's why we're in this position now. We're top of the league, yes. But we should have a lot more titles to show for it than we do now. And you say that this is not under ownership, but the reason why we're in this position is because we had one of the best managers this league's ever seen. That is the only reason. Without Jurgen Klopp, we would be a top 4 side at best, and we all can agree on that.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Go on, speak then.
He's done. He's
He's really boring me, by the way. But I love the passion. I love the passion for the first time this season. Probably the first time in over a year, Sarib has shown passion for this football club and not Arsenal. He's shown passion for this football club and not Arsenal. So thank you so much, Sarib. You're right. You're absolutely right. Clip that last 2 minutes.
It's got nothing to do with Arsenal, though. It's got nothing to do with Arsenal.
Very good.
Anyways,
I mean, you should be apologizing to ARK.
I apologize to nobody.
That silly gesture. But that's I'll be the bigger man and I'll apologize on your behalf. Ark is a very regular person in the chat and always shows his love and support to us. So I'll apologize on behalf of Avi. James Barber, we can cry about small margins and when we constantly show a lack of ambition. The January window with Virgil ACL, we get Kabak on loan and Ben Davies. I think, look, this we've discussed this on many occasions. We know when it really matters, we don't put the hand in the pocket. Simple as. But we've talked about Salah's contract. We've talked about Virg as well. We're pretty confident, would you say, as a quartet, that them 2 deals probably will get over the line. Yeah, so. Trent is the one that we're still 50-50 on. Thoughts?
If they get done, is it all FSG in again then?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Why does that matter?
Who takes credit for Slot's appointment? For that smooth transition? Who takes
FSG?
Yeah, they got it right. No problem. They got it right. Absolutely. You got to give them the credit when credit's due, but you also have to point where they do wrong. You act like they can't do anything wrong.
But what I would say,
no. Oh, you're not about no. Why are you blaming FSG for? They don't point.
Here we go. Look us here.
Listen, they don't appoint the manager.
Selection.
But what I would say, Avi, I don't believe FSG narrative about Slot was our first choice. That's pure bollocks.
Listen, there is no way on God's green earth that John Henry and Tom Werner, they knew who Arne Slot was.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
But he's not big up FSG. Let me tell you that. They did not have any...
Oh yeah, are you thick? When we talk about FSG, we're not talking about John Henry.
We're talking about Edwards. Football people.
Move it on now.
When we talk about FSG, Avi, we're talking about Richard Hughes. We're talking about Michael Edwards. We're talking about John Henry. John Henry employs Michael Edwards.
Yes.
Sorry. Next subject.
No, let him finish. Go on, Asim.
We don't understand. He
Okay,
doesn't understand.
So okay, just a yes or no.
FSG when we want to, we ridicule them when we want to. That's how it works.
All right. Anyway. Yes or no, boys? Salah and Van Dijk. Salah signs. Van Dijk signs. Yes or no, Asim?
Oh fuck! We've done this every 3 months. Last 3 months, every Sunday. Yes or no? Who signed? Which 2 out of 3? 1 out of 3? 3 out of 3? Yeah,
Avi, Avi, just for your information, you do know in that last week we've had more contract news about Van Dijk and Salah. Just to let you know, just like today.
You should clip that.
You want me to pull it back up for you if you want, because the contract has been offered to Salah. Last week it hasn't, so obviously I'm going to ask yes or no. Does it make sense, or do I have to spell it out for you? Anyways, Asim, go on.
I think Virg and Salah get done.
We're going to get onto Trent. We're going to get onto Trent. Gene, you've always said Van Dijk and Salah, yes, but you were a bit like, oh, because it's getting to the last stage, weren't you?
Yep, I'm sticking with my prediction of Salah and Virgil van Dijk will sign.
Avi, do you want me to even ask you? No problem. Look, okay, let's get on to the one that we're all uncertain about.
I'm sorry, Sarib. If people in the last 4 months haven't known my answer, then I'm not going to give my answer again. I'm sorry. And that's not disrespect to you, Sarib. I'm just not going to bother.
Yeah, but you can change your opinion, can't you?
Change my opinion like every fucking week. Change our opinion.
Yeah, you change your opinion every week on everything else. Why not?
Sarib, I think all three and it will be a Christmas Day special for all of us. Christmas Day. And we'll be singing Christmas carols. I will sing myself Christmas carols on that show. 25th of December, I'll do a show just by myself on the celebrating Christmas. I'll put my Santa hat on and I'll be singing 3 Christmas carols on the name of Virgil, Trent, and Salah. Done.
Okay. Every guy's going to tune into that. We've got a show on Christmas Day.
Christmas
carols on BNR.
Avi, is Trent signing?
I'm going to get onto that, Gene. I'm going to get onto Trent.
I think all 3 will sign, yeah. Honestly, I think all 3 sign now.
Okay, let's talk about Trent. I think we're all in agreement, comment section involved, and most of Liverpool fans would agree that this is probably the most difficult contract to execute. Just looking at his age, looking at the club that's in for Alexander-Arnold. It is Real Madrid, European champions. They are probably the best team in the world in terms of their history as a football club. They're the biggest club in the world, and they can attract the best players. And obviously, he's got his friend Jude Bellingham there. I think it's a split now, but I think it's getting to the point where people are starting to think that Trent is way more out of this club than in. But, Gene, in the last week or so, there has been a span in the works that have kind of got Liverpool fans kind of back on track. Now, this could be absolutely nothing, but I want to share this with you if I can. Is that okay? Can I share this with you guys?
Yeah, fine, I will do it.
Avi, Asim comes back in the comment section as well. And Gene, I'm
going
to share this with you, yeah? So, look. Now, this could mean absolutely nothing, but I think it's some sort of optimism to Trent. So Alexander-Arnold came out. He did an interview and he said, he was speaking about Arne's slot. And he said, big up Anfield sector, big up Josh, by the way. He said, the tactics are mind-blowing. I think this is the correct quotations as well. I did go watch it back as well. If I'm honest, I don't think anyone would have said we'd be as good as we are. Looking back to the first few days of meeting him, it's not that much of a surprise to me now because of how depth and in detail he is. Now, that could mean absolutely nothing. But he's finally come out and spoke about the praise. And we all said maybe Salah, Van Dijk and Trent are all waiting to see how it goes with Arne's slot. But surely now, if he's coming out and saying this, surely there's some sort of optimism, Gene.
Sarib, he said this at the beginning of the season too, though. The game week 4 or 5, he said something similar.
But this one makes it for me even more like positive because it's December and he's saying this.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe I get a bit of credit as well when I saw him on the touchline against Sevilla, and I said, look, I've not seen coaching like that for a long, long time. And then people started saying to me, oh, you're being disrespectful to Jurgen Klopp. He was a coach as well. But this is what Trent's on about. The guy's how in-depth and how focused he is, and his focus to small details. Trent's been talking about, I think, various interviews about his body positioning and stuff like that. He grabs him off the training pitch and starts talking about how his body's position is in different 1v1 situations. There's not a surprise why Trent has been looking better defensively, not because of his body positions only, but because of his position on the pitch as well. So you have to give all the props to Arne Slot. His attention to detail has been nothing short of brilliance.
Do you think that's something positive, Asim? Anything to do with this contract? Do you think, or is that taken out of context? You think?
Yeah, I think you're pushing it.
Pushing it.
You can't expect a player. You get that quotation up again. You can't expect any player to come out and say, he's been a rubbish coach. Look, the table doesn't lie. Where we are is a lot of it is down to Arne Slot. The players have been brilliant, but the manager has to take most of the credit because how brilliant the transition was. Never supposed to be easy. Everyone was talking about Liverpool will just a lot of fans, I know Chin predicted us to win the league, but a lot of fans in the Liverpool, social media space anyway, what we're exposed to on a daily basis, we're accepting top 4 this year. Let's be honest. But Arnie Slaughter's come in and he's talked about that. I think one of the first interviews, Sarib, he mentioned, look, this is a good team, but we finished, was it 3rd last year? We're going to go for 2nd. We're going to go for 1st. He could have easily come in at the start of the season and said, we're going to settle in players. We're not going to talk about targets. But he talked about winning trophies. And every time he gets asked in that presser about winning trophies and handling expectations, he takes the question and says, you know what, at Liverpool, expectations of winning trophies is normal. And that's what we're here to do. And that's what the players have been really, really brought in, that his belief and his attention to detail, his knowledge, and how he handles the media is brilliant, and long may it continue.
Gene, we're gonna go in order of how it is on the left side. But go on, Gene. What do you reckon? What do you think? Pushing at straws?
Look, I'll be honest with you. Everybody knows my take on Trent. I've been saying since April that I think he's off.
You're right.
I still think he's off.
Gene.
No, to be fair to him, Gene, he has said that he is most concerned about Trent, and we all are believers. And I've switched the side as well. So to be fair to you, Gene, I'll give you credit for that. But go on.
I just think he might want a different challenge. But you know what? The last couple of weeks, where with the article you put up, and some of the things that we've read, maybe he might think, what's the flipping point? Seeing Mbappe go there, all hell's already breaking loose with things, all sorts going on. Slots come in. He might have had a change of heart. You never know. He might have had a change of heart. He might think, you know what? I can become a legend here. This team's going to be going on winning titles and going to win Champions Leagues and all that type of stuff. So I can get it, but I think he's off, man.
Avi, Gene said he thinks he's off, but there was a famous quotation I think we're all familiar with, and I think Gene just said it as well. At the moment, Jurgen Klopp once said that it was about the Philippe Coutinho transfer.
Statue one, come on, even that I've heard a million of times. You don't need to repeat it about Coutinho. I know which one it was.
All right, go on.
Again, with the Trent stuff, I can't be bothered. If he stays. If he goes, he goes. He's done complete football at Liverpool. He's won every trophy possible. Yeah, he's even won the Charity Shield. If he wants to go, should he let him go? At 25, 26, who would begrudge him? You can't begrudge him. Wants to start a new lifestyle, new culture. He wants to play alongside Jude and Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. Do you blame him? I don't blame him at all. Let him go.
I do blame him.
Why?
Of course I blame him. Playing for Liverpool Football Club, mate. No, Latu Patu bullshit, mate. He's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world.
But he wants to try.
Forget that, man.
He wants to try a different culture, lifestyle. Real Madrid is a big club. Gina, you can say Liverpool this, Liverpool that. Truth be known,
I never said they're not.
Real Madrid are the greatest club in the world. Okay? They are. Unfortunately, they are. You got to be truthful, okay? If he wants to play for the Los Blancos, let him. It's fine. McManaman did it. Michael Owen did it.
Yeah,
right? Michael Owen found out that it was the wrong decision. Maybe Trent.
Don't you think there should be a sense of loyalty? Don't you think there should be a sense of loyalty? The same club that took you from nothing to the world superstar, that you should give something back to them as well, where they get a fee for you. They should get a fee for you.
He's been there since the age of 7, 8. I don't.
Why isn't McManaman and Owen loved the same way?
I know. I think it's fine. I don't think there should be a fee for his services. He's given us his best years. He's given us the best since he's 17, 18. 7 years at the top high level. I don't begrudge him if he goes on a free. I really don't.
I'll be honest. I have to agree with Avi. Football's a
Cristiano Ronaldo could have gone to Real Madrid.
Loyalty does not exist.
Baba asked for one more year.
There is no loyalty.
All the terms. That's what I call class. A lot of people might hate Cristiano Ronaldo, but what he did with Man United, and because he knew where they took him from Sporting Lisbon to Man United, and he said, okay, I'll give you one more year. They got 80 million for him, all straight up. That's what I call class. And I think one of the comments it says, what is loyalty in football nowadays? I understand that. But the ones that show loyalty, then they deserve praise.
But Asim, how can you? I
don't agree with that.
And I'll tell you why that I think that's unfair. And I want you lot to give your opinion. I'm the host, but I'll give.
Oh, Shahid Bhai's here, man. Shahid Bhai.
Shahid Bhai's coming for me.
Go on, if you want to say something, innit?
No. Shahid's allowed to say what he wants. I will never come in for Shahid. I will never come in.
No, come on.
No, look, I don't think there is. Look, loyalty does not exist in the modern day game, Asim. He's given us his best years. He's 25. if he truthfully believed that, look, unfortunately, it was his last year of his contract, he wants to try something new, then so be it. He doesn't owe us. We shouldn't be demanding 100 million, 150 million for his services. He wants to go. He wants to go. It's fine.
I'm gonna agree with him, Asim. I'll tell you why. Football's a short career. It's only 15 years at the top, and he's given us half of that, basically. I can't begrudge a player that wants to join Real Madrid. It will be very, very different if it was PSG, because that's not inflicted on
that would be money.
reasons. If he goes to Man City, that's going to be down to money, because we're still competing with Man City, even though they win titles every season. I can't begrudge him for joining Real Madrid. Real Madrid are the biggest club in the world. Real Madrid are the European champions. The track record.
Oh, you're not giving that. Chill out.
No, wait. No, but that's the truth.
No, you're not. Chill
That's
out,
the truth.
man.
No, I'll be honest.
I'm a Liverpool Football Club, bro. We don't know.
Yeah, but we have to understand. No, but we have to.
No, say to him, no. Get a contract and say you're staying here, mate.
But that's not up to us, Gene. I told you,
I get
football's
that,
a true
man.
career.
Yeah,
You have to be in it for yourself.
This is Trent Alexander-Arnold, mate. He's one of the best football players
I agree with you.
ever really played for Liverpool. Come on, you're right. A Scouser. These guys
Okay,
are right, man.
Gene, here's a question for you. If Salah was going to go on a free next summer and he runs down his contract, would you have the same hate for him then, like you're having for Trent?
Avi,
No.
That's a ridiculous question.
No, answer it.
That's a ridiculous question.
Salah,
I'll tell you now.
Salah has given us his best years.
Salah
has given us his best years.
Perfect answer.
Allah's son.
He's been for 8 years, but that's the same as Trent. Now,
Allah's son.
Sarib. You're going to answer my question. Remember last summer when Saudi were going to come in for him, and we were speaking about Salah. I said, we know what we'll do. Sell Salah, at least get 100 million in. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That's my answer there. When it was Salah, I said, get the money. Because you know what? He's getting 31, 32. Our owners are tight gates. They're not going to give us the money to go and spend it on different players. If I knew our owners, your chache, had money, I would have kept it.
Breaking news.
Because they're not, I would have said to him.
Breaking news. Do you know breaking news?
Go on. Break it then. Oh. Go on, Shahid.
What the hell? Let's see. And I hope you're right, mate.
There we are. What the hell?
Asim, he always complains. How come we didn't get this message before he came on VNR?
Shahid the ITK, man.
We didn't get this message.
Hey, he must have Abby on speed dial.
But to be fair, Ash puts a comment saying loyalty and respect go hand in hand. Liverpool offer is respectful, then Trent will show loyalty. And to be fair, all the journalists have come out and said Trent is still giving his priority to Liverpool over any other club. So I think that's important to highlight, that he's still showing some sort of loyalty to the club that have nurtured him into the player he is today. I think that's
sources. Come on, man.
No problem, mate.
Oh, we're getting the wool label. We're getting the wool label.
You want me to sound like a Scouser for you? Do that for you now, mate. No problem. You can talk like that all day. I'm not going to lie to you. Trent's going to sign a contract. Salah, Van Dijk, Jones. We're up there at the top of the league, mate. I'm not even going to talk to you right now, boxing straight talk. When you want to come on in and talk like a proper Scouser, I don't know who you are. You got no face. Come on the channel and we can talk football, mate. I'm not going to talk to you because I'm a Scouser, right, boyo? We don't talk to you, lad. If you want me to talk like that, I can talk like that. No problem, mate. No problem. I can act like a Scouser when I want. But I'm going to be honest. I'm not from Liverpool.
You best not miss when you come for the Four Kings. Now,
we've got
I'm not going to talk like that.
But you know, in Trent's defense, Sarib.
Sarib, one second, Asim. This guy, he's a man of so many talents, yeah. Right? But in one talent, yeah, as he still needs to master.
What's this?
Liverpool Football Club. This guy needs to understand what Liverpool Football Club is and get off the Arsenal train. Because today he was actually a proper Liverpool fan, and I liked it. So please,
I like Liverpool fan. Maybe we should actually, Gene. Maybe he needs to host more. Maybe he needs to host more.
Yeah.
No, the truth is, the truth is, me saying Liverpool were better than Arsenal and City last year was unjustifiable. You couldn't, and that's how it ended. We won the Carabao Cup, fine, but we finished lower than the last 2 years. It would be stupid for me to say we're better than them. This season, we've clearly been better than them, and that's been highlighted. And I would say that because it's not based on the past, it's based on the now. And I've always said that. When we were in the last season, Arsenal were better, and that was the truth. And we played them, we got absolutely battered. The year before that, we finished 5th, they finished 2nd. They won the title race, we weren't. This season, it's a completely different story. So I'm going to come on and say that we are better, and that's clearly shown by the position we're in. That shows you that I'm not biased.
No.
I watch football by the now, not by the
Just
past.
be a bit more supportive, man. Just be a bit more
I
supportive.
get it.
Come on, yeah, carry it on. Move on.
I get it.
Oi, calm down. What's your last day? Time. Stay on the show, mate. You go when I tell you to go.
How's the
Yeah,
rest
but
of
it's coming on.
One at a time.
Ball now. Maresca ball. Chelsea, huh?
That's why you used to go.
Let's talk about Chelsea, Asim. I think they deserve a mention. A lot of people, I'm not saying specifically, but myself as well, I had Chelsea nowhere near the top 4. I had Chelsea in 8th or 7th in the league coming into this season. I'm not going to give you your flowers, Blue Chip. You don't deserve it for interrupting about 50 times in hosting. I'm going to do the same thing to you, and you're not going to like it. But look, Chelsea, Asim, are currently Liverpool's closest title challengers, if you want to say. They are 4 points behind Liverpool. Is it 4 or 6? Someone correct me.
4 with a game in hand.
4 with a game in hand. But again, I rather have points on the board than games in hand because they're not guaranteed points. But they're 4 points behind Liverpool, having a wonderful victory at Tottenham. Are they in the contention for the title, or is it too early to say?
Chelsea, as a football club, as a fan base, will say we're not in the title race, but they'll be excited, quietly excited, quietly confident as well. But they're a proper team, Sarib. They're a proper team. I don't think they'll have enough fuel and quality and maybe know-how as well going to the business end of the season. But a lot of things are going for them at the moment. They've got a good coach, good principles, good way to play football. Arsenal have been accused of being too negative, but there's nothing negative about Chelsea. They came to even Anfield this year and looked really good side. And I think a lot of the times they looked a better side at Anfield. And but they've got proper players in midfield. I really like Lavia and Caicedo. Enzo started playing well. Had a
tweet about Lavia, Sim. You tweeted about Lavia. There was a cock up from Liverpool.
I think that was a cock up. He's a proper number 6, but he's just not a disciplined guy who likes to duel and win tackles. He's really comfortable in the press. He's really comfortable making passes into midfield. And a lot of people are saying, were asking me today, is he a slot player? Of course he's a slot player. He's not a Martin Zumbamendi or a Rodri type, but he ticks a lot of boxes in that midfield department. And I think him and Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, Curtis, all in midfield, rotating would have been an absolute joy to watch. But at the end of the day, he's a Chelsea player. And we just have to find someone else as well, in whether it's January or the summer. But going back to Chelsea, proper team. I don't think they'll have enough quality. But what's going for them is I think they'll play one game a week, won't they? Yeah. They don't have Europe this year, or do they? They're playing the Europe.
They have a conference, but they're heavily rotated. They're heavily rotated.
And if any team is equipped to rotate on the Thursday night and go again on the Sunday, is Chelsea. Some would argue they probably have the best squad.
I think they're very, very clean in attack.
Liverpool and City and Arsenal might have a better team, but they've got likes of Nkunku and Modric and Felix. It's an absolute joke. But Abby talked about Maresca earlier in the season. I never saw him at Leicester, but when I did see that Chelsea team early on the season, I saw proper positional play principles, and you see that. And even today, where that first half, even though that 2-1, probably they'd feel like they were a better team, especially after going from 2-0 down. You saw the change because there's an imbalance in that team with what's his name, Badishvili was playing. So if Caicedo was going into midfield, they had 3 left footers across the back line in Colwill, Badishvili, and Cucurella, and there was a complete imbalance. And so Tottenham's man-to-man press was really getting Chelsea into trouble, and he changed it, and he brought a lot more balance into the team. And second half, they absolutely battered him and dominated the game. And 4-3 was not a true reflection to the game, especially the second half performance from Chelsea. That could have been anything.
Avi, you know what? The floor is yours. You said Chelsea were going to do well this. They're going to do well this season. They've got a good coach in Enzo Maresca. You obviously saw something that we didn't see. Go on. I'll let you have your flowers for Chelsea. What do you reckon? What do you make of Chelsea?
No, it's just the way he just came in and he shipped out players that he just didn't believe in. The likes of like Sterling, and there's a few others. He just shared the line.
Very ruthless coach. Very ruthless.
He didn't give a shit about fans' reaction. or what the board would think. Even signings that were just made like months ago, he just hasn't given them any time. He's come in. His first club, Sarib.
Avi, can I interject, please? Sorry. For this lad, look, we gave you a nice little response, but no, don't ban him.
I didn't ban him. I didn't ban him. I didn't ban him.
I did. Did I?
Yeah,
You said it.
If you're gonna banter us properly.
Just let him talk. It's fine. Guys,
Well,
come on. Don't let this get to you, man. He's probably taking the
No,
piss.
I just those comments, man. People get.
Asim got triggered.
Sorry, Avi.
That's okay. His first club actually in his playing career, Maresca's, was West Bromwich Albion. So he actually from Italy, he couldn't get into one of the top clubs. He came to West Brom, played a couple of seasons, and then he actually did play for Juventus sparingly. It wasn't never a great player, but he's a very good coach. Pep Guardiola was seething when he went to Leicester City. So that tells you that, that's Arteta, that's Maresca who's gone. He was seething when Maresca went, because he said he's going to be a top coach. And we're seeing it. We're seeing the fruition of his work. They're a tad early this season. I think, they'll get close, but they'll get definitely
similar to us, Avi, innit? Similar to us. Like, nobody really expected them to be where they were, and what Slot and Maresca have done has been really, really impressive.
True, but they've got the players though. Asim's got names like Nkunku, Neto, Felix as backup. They've got Colwell, who's come on leaps and bounds, who I think is a fantastic player. Yes, the odd mistake is there, but he's got a group of players. He's only got 15, 16. It's a sample size of players. I know they've got a huge squad, but he's using that nucleus of 15, 16 players, and it's working. It's working for them.
This season, Avi, can work because there's no Champions League.
Yeah, one game a week. Yeah, of course.
It will work when there's no Champions League, and that will go in their favour. But you can't survive with 15, 16 players if you're in the Champions League.
He's got the option of using more, but he's using the same 15, 16 in and around for the last few games in the Premier League. Cole Palmer's performing again, great player. Players that
best player in the last 18 months.
I knew that was coming.
We'll talk about that.
Avi set that one up.
I tell you who I've been impressed with most, and Gino will give me his flowers again. Nicholas Jackson,
good player.
Villarreal. I said he's a player. I know he likes him. Comes to Chelsea. Last season was ridiculed. Oh no, Darwin is levels ahead of this guy. Look at what we could be worse. We could have Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson is now showing his true worth. It took him a season. He's looking as if he could be that Drogba for them. Hold up play, his finishing, his pace. He can go in the channels. He can go from the left. He can go from the right. He can take a player on. He's got all the nucleus. A lot more improvement to come, but he's a good player. Goalkeeper, yes. Question marks over Raya. Oh, they might address that in the summer.
Avi, I think he's the worst keeper in the league.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
No, he's not. I don't think he's the worst keeper in the league. I think he's a lot worse than him in the league. But
I think he's the worst keeper.
Out of the top clubs, I think they have the worst keeper. I think out of the top clubs,
Onana's the worst. I think Onana's the worst.
No, Onana's better than Sanchez, man. Onana's better. Onana's been pretty good this season. Apart from yesterday, he's had a good season.
He hasn't been good.
He has had a good season. To be fair to him, you don't watch United. He's had a good season. To be fair, I don't like giving him credit. I don't like giving the credit, but to be fair to Onana, by yesterday, he's had a decent season. To be fair to him, he had a shit start last year. He's always gonna have an error in him. Every keeper does.
Andre Onana will not be an Amorim goalkeeper within a year. Yadra.
I think there's a question mark on a lot of those players, Avi.
I think all in all, it's season too early, but they've made giant strides. And if they all believe in Maresca's vision and they all singing from the same hymn sheet, then he's going to be a top manager for them. He's here for the long haul, 2-3 years. That's usually the Chelsea 3 years, isn't it? The Chelsea
project.
10-year product, yeah.
Gene, do you wanna monologue about Chelsea, or do you want to talk about something else?
Chelsea, can you Tina, can you give some flowers?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I doubted. I'm gonna be the first person to say I doubted Maresca. I thought he was gonna, I'm just to remind you. When they said the worst manager when we did that start of the season, I picked Maresca.
Did you?
He tipped him
I picked Maresca to get the sack.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Sarib was not even talking to me. Sarib was so pissed off with me. He hadn't talked to me for 2 weeks. He texted me saying, "Fair play, Ten Hag." And I go, "What happened? I'm just woken up." He goes, "Shitty, he's gone." So thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you.
I gotta give him. To be fair, as Avi did say, Maresca's gonna be a proper coach, and he's gonna take Chelsea places. And look, they've started out. They've had an unbelievable start. I wasn't expecting Chelsea to be this good. And another thing with Chelsea is they remind me of Arsenal 2 years ago in their first year, where we weren't expecting them, and then they didn't have Champions League that year, they didn't have Europe, and they crept up and nearly won the league. So we've seen that in the past. Chelsea did it themselves once. They won the league when they didn't have any Europe. So it does help. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Oh, we are boxing straight to these lads support Chelsea. Guess me, this guy, man, he's actually quite funny.
Leave him.
I know. Anyway, but look, I think we move on from Chelsea, man. Look, Chelsea. Look, I've got to give him credit. Cole Palmer's a brilliant footballer, man. But he's not the best in the league.
Best player in the league, Gene?
I said he's a brilliant footballer, but he's not the best in the league.
He's not the best.
You wanted to address that, didn't you? You wanted to address that. You and Abby wanted to have a little boxing match.
No, there's no rebuttal. What people did was clip Carragher up, and I was like, "Listen, guys, this is gonna get now because of what he said about Salah and stuff. It's just gonna get overkill, and people are just gonna come in for it."
That's his own fault, though, isn't it?
He said over the last 18 months, he said it's very hard to find a better player than Cole Palmer. I kind of agreed with that. Last 18 months. This season, Mohamed Salah has been the best player in the world. Look at the Premier League. He's been the best player in the world. Over the course of 18 months, Sarib, I can understand why he said that. I can understand why he said that. Because Salah, after January with the injury last season, he had a dip in form. There's no question.
I have no issue with that. I've got no issue with what he said. The issue with Carragher is... I don't know why Carragher mentioned 18 months. Right now, the best player in the world is Salah. But he said last 18 months because I think when Cole Palmer came into this Chelsea team, he's saving his own ass. He's saving his own ass.
No, but Gene, you got to understand. I don't think there's anyone in the world who expected Cole Palmer to do the numbers that he did last season and the numbers that he's
Cole Palmer is an unbelievable footballer. He's honestly, look, we gave him his flowers, man. But for Carragher to come out and saying stuff like, Palmer's the best player in the world, Salah's selfish, all that type of stuff. That doesn't sit with you. That's why you have to look at everything together. We don't look at it as what he just said today. You got to look at everything behind it. Where was this tweet about Salah being the best player? All this type of stuff. How well Salah's done this season, Connie. Look, I'm not gonna have a go at him, even though I had a go at him last time. So I'm not gonna make it about Carragher. I don't want to give him we're sat here really speaking about Carragher and what he said. But the truth is, he shouldn't have said that. It's easy. Go on then, Carragher. Speak about the club. Let his news out then.
Can I address this?
No, go for the club now. I want to see a tweet saying that the club are selfish.
No,
they haven't got the players' interest at heart. Leaking out the news.
I want to address this, guys. Can I address this? This comment by not boxing straight. I know why Carragher doesn't rate Salah. Deep down, we know. Yeah, listen, we need to stop away from that because that's a serious accusation when we start talking about race and faith and religion, all that. It's nothing to do with that. Carragher is a media darling. He knows what sells. He's seen fan channels. Gary Neville has seen fan channels like the Gold Bridges. They know what sells. They're selling a product. Simple as. It's got nothing to do with race.
Let me tell you what really bothered me.
Salah so hard, and I'll still remain to say he's my favorite ever player. He's the only player that I've got his name at the back of my shirt. I've got Salah on the back of my shirt. Should have said Mohamed Salah, but I've only got Salah. I couldn't afford that extra letter. I've got Salah. He's the only player. Listen, it's got nothing to do with him being.
Probably cost an extra tenner.
Let me say something that really annoyed me.
Be a bit mature about that. Come on.
I don't know if you lot have seen it, but the Overlap did a watch along for the Arsenal Man United game.
A brilliant watch along, by the way. I thought it was brilliant.
No, I'm gonna say something here. Jamie Carragher's a Liverpool legend, right? He's made the most appearances for Liverpool in Premier League history, right? Now, this might not mean nothing, but it really pissed me off. He sat there on that stream. He watched that stream wearing a Manchester United shirt. He sat there watching an Arsenal Man United game as a Liverpool legend in a Man United shirt. And you wonder why people go for him. You wonder why people go for him on Twitter.
There's a story behind that kid. That's why he wore it, son.
I don't care. What, as a Liverpool legend, you not. If Steven Gerrard tomorrow came and wore Everton shirt, what are you gonna do? Well, everybody will go for him. Everybody would go for him.
Steven Gerrard was actually caught with the Everton top when he was like 9-10 years old. There's a picture floating around. Sarib, it's okay. They've got
now though.
Sarib, these content creators, just like us, we're selling a product. Now, some may OTT overdo it. Some may act natural. It's just the name of the game.
I disagree, Avi. I disagree. If you want to get your viewers up, then you don't rile up your own fan base. You don't
You
show
know, we're the same
disrespect.
fan base that are talking
You
about
don't
it.
show
We're giving him
disrespect.
that exposure. We're
You don't.
giving
Let
him
me
that
finish now.
exposure.
You've been chatting shit for 5 minutes. Let me speak. You don't show disrespect to your best player. You've just called him the best player in the world. You've just called him the best player ever to don a red shirt, and I agree with you 100%. But you don't say, like, you know, Robertson about a couple of weeks ago told him in a nice way. I think he was on the CBS interview, and he said, look, Carragher has been getting a lot of shit. About a couple of years ago, Van Dijk didn't even choose him in his team. He chose Matip over Carragher, and I think that sort of made him really insecure over the last couple of years. How many times has he showed disrespect to Liverpool players? And this is not any old player. This is Mohamed Salah, who's carrying Liverpool team to a title race. And you have to choose your moments. You mentioned overlap, guys. You watch that show. Gary Neville will be speaking about Man United, like they're the top of the league in the UK, and he'll be top of the league in the Champions League. They're winning trophy year in, year out, even when they shit. Yeah. And I don't want him to act like a clown, but giving Mohamed Salah his flowers on a weekly basis, that's the least we expect. And don't show him the disrespect. And just like Gene said, going on Salah, he called him a selfish player. He's coming out and trying to negotiate a contract in front of the cameras. And I told what I said earlier is come out and criticize the club today and say they shouldn't be leaking news to David Ornstein, because this is selfish on behalf of the club as well. So if you're going to go for your best player, then go for the club as well, because you're right, 100%, he shouldn't be doing this. So look, I'm not surprised. Maybe he just, and calling, he's been on Twitter tonight telling people you don't really have you have a shit account. He's also replied to another account saying you can't kick a ball down Marsh Lane, and you're here discussing football. This is completely just, you're going to go to Jose Mourinho tomorrow and say you shouldn't be talking about football because you never played the game. He's acting like a clown, and he's losing a lot of respect amongst the Liverpool fan base, and I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm not surprised.
So he did come in for a big account, Anfield edition, and Jamie, and on there they quoted, "I don't think there's been a better player in the Premier League that's performed better than him." That's stupid as well, because he said 18 months. He's come back, Jamie Carragher, to say, maybe you try hard at putting the full quote out. I said he's been the best player over 18 months, which he has in my eyes. He's entitled to that opinion, Asim. And you probably know that I said that, but your desperation for likes and retweets knows no bounds. Your account is so bad, please stop following me.
Oh, so he's accusing that account for desperation and likes, but where did Man United top is in desperation?
But Asim,
isn't that desperation?
Let's stay on the subject today.
That is the subject, isn't it? Why is he wearing My United shirt? That's
hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy.
Yeah, listen. Today he said about
no, answer that question now. You're here defending Carragher. Why is he wearing a Man United shirt? Isn't that for views?
Of course it is, Asim. Of course it is. But look, if he's not lying about that, though, he's not hiding behind that wearing the ditched United kit back in '96 when Ferguson pulled rank on it. Anfield Edition, which is a big account supposedly on Twitter, couldn't care less for them. They have said that quote without saying 18 months. So of course everyone is going to go in for him, which is wrong. At least put the full quote out that he said Cole Palmer has been the best player in his eyes, in his opinion. That's allowed. Sarib, in his opinion, thinks Arsenal were better than us last season. Or at the beginning of the season, he thought they were going to finish. That's his opinion. We have to respect it. As much as we go in for you, Sarib, we have to respect that opinion.
Why are you singling me out?
No, in my opinion, like Diaz might be the best player in the world. That's my opinion. Cole Palmer is the same. If that's his opinion over 18 months, that's totally fine.
Fair enough.
It's like saying, do you not believe that Fabio Carvalho would have been Ballon d'Or one day? That's his opinion. He's allowed that opinion. As ridiculous as it sounded at the time, and it still does, that was his opinion.
Here's a comment.
I was 100% honest. Look, you have to understand that everybody is entitled to their opinion. Some people think that their opinion is gospel, and they tell us that the club was sold in November. It's going to get sold in November. Trying to load of shit. People like to lie as well. So sometimes opinions turn into lies. So we have to be very careful with that, boys.
Yeah, look, Carragher's not the most popular lad in the amongst the Liverpool fan base.
Listen, if you saw him celebrate the winner against Newcastle, you know he's a Liverpool fan. Everton turned Liverpool fan. His boy was on there as well, James, and Gary Neville. He was ecstatic when Salah scored the third, and he said, "Give that man whatever he wants."
That was a joke. That was a joke.
No, but
You
he
really
said,
think he
no,
believed
no.
that?
Oh, he was taking the
Only
piss.
a week ago,
was taking
he
the
was
piss.
sat in the
He
Sky
was-
studio and
he
saying
was taking the
Salah
piss.
is selfish. He should be, bringing the whole contract into disrepute and all that sort of stuff. And then a week later, you take his comments at face value, and you think he actually believes that the club should give him the contract that he deserves and give him what he wants. No, he's just taking the piss out of himself there. He don't believe it.
All he said was he preferred Salah to do his talking away from the media before giving these mixed zone interviews. That's all he said. He doesn't. No one deserves just giving the shit. I mean, listen, Carragher's not the best human being. We know that. Okay, we know what he's done away from the game. It's totally fine. Let's move on.
All right, lads. You want to talk about anything else, or shall we call it a wraps there? 124.
I think we're done.
Dean, Avi?
I'm good.
Any
I
last
just want to
words?
say, I do have some last words. I think you've been absolutely amazing today, Sarib. I think you've held the line, hosted brilliantly. All jokes aside, you've been brilliant. And I apologize if I was speaking out of turn or interrupting like I usually do, but you put in a clinic today. Thank you.
Dean?
I'm impressed. Avi giving Sarib his props, man.
Oh wow.
No, I always give him his props. I always do.
I'm joking. Yeah, Avi, what's your thoughts on Dan Ashworth, man? Before we go, just quick. I like having a little dig that's coming in there.
I think in your
it's bloody. We were told, the summer, the full revamps taking place. But it's weird, Avi, man.
It's weird, but if you look at all the signings that they made, Xerxes, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Ugarte.
Just for context, Avi, they overpaid for Xerxes when they could have triggered his release clause before it expired. They stored on Ugarte for 3 months when they knew they needed a number 6, and they signed him after the season had already started. Rasmus Højlund was signed a year before. Actually, that's not Ineos, but Rasmus, again, the whole structure has been a mess. They signed Rasmus Højlund for 80 million the year before that. They spent 65 million on Lenny Euro, unproven. I get he's one of the generational talents. They spent 40 million on Matthias De Ligt when they already have Maguire, who's far better than him. And Mazraoui, I think, is the only signing they probably got right in the summer. It's been a mess in the summer. Mazraoui's a good player, by the way.
Apparently, Dan Ashworth is fuming and walked out. Is the underlying issue is that he was pushing for Gareth Southgate to come in.
He deserves sacking for that. It would have been great for us. Exactly. It would have been great for us, but he deserves sacking for that. If that's the truth, he deserves sacking.
But that was crazy.
One thing will do, he'll pull it in very early on. And I think with Amorim it's different. He'll give him time. But with the board announcements and the appointments, even if he's made those appointments himself, Ineos are known to be ruthless bastards.
And they have been.
As a company as well. So, yeah, maybe it'll continue. Maybe
Change Studios asked the question. Asked him to please tell me that's a joke. No, I saw a few reports on Twitter. Don't know how reliable they were, but there were the big accounts, Man United accounts were tweeting.
They paid up to 7 million for his release clause as well for a sporting director to come away from Newcastle.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I mean, it's mental, man. They pay stupid money to get him in because he was their man. He was the one that they wanted, and then flipping told him to F off after 4 or 5 months. That's mental, man.
Do you think Dan? What's his name? Ratcliffe is losing confidence in these guys. Whether it was Dan Ashworth, that was a Wilcox, the ex-Southampton player. There's a few
Wilcox and Barada. He won't lose faith. He will stick with those two.
They've got a different role, haven't they? Yeah.
And you know what, guys? As much as we should laugh as much as we can now at the expense, they're going to get it right with Ruben Amorim. They will. Mark this day. I've been saying it for ages. They'll get it right. They'll give him the time. It's going to get a lot uglier. But I promise you, within 2 years, we'll be saying something different.
No, I agree. I think Amorim's a proper coach, and he's got aura about him. Honestly,
he's already. I think he already knows 6-7 players. He's ready to call at the end of the season. He already knows that.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys? You want to add to that?
No, we've got Girona. Are we doing anything before that?
I'm looking forward to Chiesa starting against Girona, mate. I'm looking forward to Federico Chiesa.
Do you think he starts?
He should be ready, no? He should be ready against
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
I don't think Chiesa is going to be in the squad for that game. I think we'll probably see Diogo Jota in the squad, but I don't think we'll see Chiesa probably until next week. Hopefully.
Talking about Man United, do you think they're going to give Amorim 3 years to get it right?
Because you will see.
Because that's why I took Arteta.
I tell you why, because you will see improvements from game 1 next season. You'll see the improvements already. a full pre-season under his belt with the right signings. I think they'll make 3-4 signings. The right signings, I think they'll be game.
You can see what he's trying to do, to be fair to him. In the Arsenal game, they were poor, but I could see what he was trying to do with the squad. The patterns of play were right. He just needs the correct personnel in there. He's trying different things. Ahmad, right wing back. I think he needs to just find the right balance. But I think he's still trying to get to know his squad, Gene. These are not his players. You have to understand that these are not his players. And we have to give him credit when credit is due. It's going to take him time, and they're already a mess before he left. They might go 10 steps back before they go 5 steps forward, Gene. And that's going to happen.
He will not dissuade from his principles. He will play that wing back system. He will play with that
He's going to get sacked in 2 years.
He won't. Okay, Tom. We'll have a little...
We're here.
Fair enough. Anything else, boys?
They're a jinx football club, mate.
I want a double of laddus if he stays on, okay?
Is that all, boys? 1 minute 30?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
Anyway.
done.
Listen, me and Gina making for lost time because we didn't do chip and chin on Friday properly. We're making up for lost times, all right?
We're always covering it. Me and
I was on, man.
Anyway, we're always covering your asses. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We were covering your ass.
What's the week's
No, we're not doing I told you last time we're not being scheduled live because you don't even turn up to your schedule.
Listen, I had an emergency on Friday. Last week I had an emergency. I had a bad emergency last week. But Friday I came in for you, so
well, we can do a post match after Girona.
Someone's calling me. Someone's ringing me.
Yeah, don't answer that. That's FaceTime. That could
Yeah,
be
dangerous.
Oh, go away, man.
Corona is on Tuesday. Yeah, I think we can do a post match.
Post match. Then we'll do maybe Thursday. If not, Chip and Chin on Friday.
Friday, yeah, but I'm in.
And then are we playing on Saturday? We're playing on
3
Saturday.
o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff.
And then we're back on thingy. So we'll do about 3 shows this week coming up.
And
is that okay, Sarib?
And there'll be Substack articles during the week from Asim. Make sure you guys, honestly, on Joe's side, give him a subscribe. Make sure you're looking at his Substack stuff as well. Great threads, great read. Very eloquent as well, the way he puts these articles together. So make sure you're subscribing to Asim's Substack.
Bloody hell. He's not feeling right. He's had a drink or two today. First it was Sarib. Now it's me. Gene, you don't have to do
I engage.
Get him out of the way.
I engaged from him, mate.
But look, guys, it's been a great show. We've had over 340 people at one point. Got 271. We've kept the numbers. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out our sponsor at the bottom of the screen, www.schnookerleg.com for your best LFC apparels. 10% with BNR10. I want to thank the comment section for getting involved. I want to thank Asim, Avi, and Gene as always. And again, wind, storm, or rain, Liverpool are clear in the title race, and we haven't even played a game. Bye for now.
Oh yes, I like that.